The year is 2019. Martin Scorsese, one of the most celebrated directors alive, is out promoting his 3.5-hour gangster epic, The Irishman. A journalist asks him about Marvel movies, the billion-dollar juggernaut dominating theaters. Scorsese leans forward, shrugs, and drops a line that detonates across the internet. That's not cinema. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks.
He kinda hates us.
One quote, and suddenly it's Marty versus Marvel. The godfather of New Hollywood versus the most powerful studio on earth.
Eternal clash.
To understand why this landed like a bomb, you've got to zoom out. On one side is Martin Scorsese, 82 years old, raised in Little Italy, a lifelong student of cinema. He made Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, The Departed. He's the guy who turned gangsters, loners, and degenerates into mythological figures. His films aren't just entertainment, they're character studies, operas of morality and sin. On the other side, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Starting with Iron Man in 2008, Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios built the most profitable franchise in history. 30-plus films, billions at the box office, and a formula that made superhero flicks feel less like movies and more like cultural events. For fans, Marvel is myth-making on a Homeric scale. For the rest of us, they're not. For Scorsese, it's pure cotton candy.
They're too sweet.
But why bother, right? Why poke the bear?
Here comes the tickler.
Why would a director with nothing left to prove take a swipe at the franchise that practically owned the decade? Well, let's rewind and take a look at the players before the gloves came off. Growing up an asthmatic in the 1940s, young Marty Scorsese was too sickly for sports, so he haunted movie theaters instead. By the 70s, he was part of the new Hollywood revolution, alongside Spielberg, Coppola, and George Lucas. His work wasn't about explosions or capes. It was about flawed humans and pressure cookers, Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. Scorsese became the ultimate auteur, an artist who saw movies as high art. Fast forward to 2008. Superhero movies had been hit or miss. Reeves' Superman had connected but aged poorly, and really only Keaton's Batman stands out to me as a classic. Then Marvel dropped Iron Man. With Robert Downey Jr. in the suit and a bold post-credits tease, Marvel created something new. A connected universe where every movie fed the next. Fans lined up opening weekend, not just for the story on screen, but to see the breadcrumb for the next one. By the time Avengers Endgame hit in 2019, Marvel wasn't just making movies, it was running Hollywood. And there you have a cultural powder keg. Scorsese, the auteur who sees cinema as sacred, and Marvel, the studio that turned it into a theme park ride. And then came the spark in October 2019. Scorsese, promoting The Irishman, says Marvel movies aren't cinema. He doubles down in a New York Times op-ed, claiming that franchises are manufactured, designed to be safe, predictable, and profitable. He warns they're pushing real films out of theaters. Translation: Marvel is killing cinema.
What's wrong with him?
The backlash is instant. Marvel fans flood Twitter, calling Scorsese an elitist dinosaur. Kevin Feige responds diplomatically, saying everyone has a different definition of cinema. Bob Iger, Disney's CEO, is less polite, calling the comments nasty and disrespectful. James Gunn tweets he's saddened. Joss Whedon, best known for his work on being a douchebag, had something to say about it too, but fuck Joss Whedon. Scorsese isn't alone. Francis Ford Coppola, director of The Godfather, goes even harder, calling Marvel films despicable.
He kinda hates us.
Suddenly, it's not just Marty versus Marvel. It's old guard versus new machine. Cinephiles versus superfans. Elitism versus populism.
We damn well sure will avenge it.
The debate spills everywhere. Reddit, think pieces, late night shows. Some say Scorsese's bitter about box office bombs like Silence. Others say he's the only one with the guts to call out corporate art.
Twist!
Ooh, time for a twist.
While he was blasting superhero movies, Scorsese nearly made one himself.
Twist.
Big twist.
It's a
great twist.
In 2019, Scorsese was attached as producer on Joker, a comic book movie that looked and felt more like one of his own. Gritty, psychological, tragic. He stepped back from directing, but his fingerprints were all over it. Joker went on to win Oscars and gross $1 billion, proving superhero movies could look like cinema. Meanwhile, Marvel showed cracks. The Marvels flopped. Quantumania disappointed. Thor: Love and Thunder was whatever that was. Even Chris Hemsworth admitted superhero fatigue was real. By 2025, Marvel scaled back to just 2 films a year. And Scorsese, still thriving. The Irishman scored loads of nominations. Killers of the Flower Moon kept him relevant. And now he's got a 5-part Apple TV doc premiering. At 82, he's still shaping cinema. Let's call it a Cold War. Scorsese isn't taking new shots, but Marvel's decline won't be changing any minds. The bigger question is, who's right? Is Scorsese a gatekeeping snob or a savior, warning us not to trade art for algorithms? Is Marvel a factory of empty calories, or a new mythology for a new century? Drop your takes in the comments, Feud Fiends. Is it cinema, or is it a theme park? That's all for today. Join us next time when we dissect another star-studded spat that'll make you glad you're not famous.
Like us. Subscribe to us. Submit to us. Until next time, Feud Fiends. This has been Iconoclash.
Here comes the tickler.